No worries.
Okay, welcome back everyone. It's Anonymous Bites back. A shorter episode than usual. Just a little recap about the Clovers for Assange events, mainly in DC and but also in the rest of the world. And we're just going to tell you guys about the stuff that happened and where also where you can find relevant streams about this and what else you can do, of course, to support the case of Assange after this. We have AK on, and we have Glory and Steve on, and Glory and Steve were in DC, are still in DC.
Yep.
It's true.
The heart of just magnificent powerhouse democracy.
Yeah.
Land of the free, home of the blast walls and razor wire.
Yep.
Legit, like blast walls and razor wire surrounding the Capitol are
Yeah.
yesterday.
There must have been National Guardsmen like 50 meters away from our protest at the Fox and NBC complex.
They were lined up.
Yeah, it was literally the block across the street is where the razor wire for the Capitol started.
I was just gonna say they were lined up before that event, like months ago, all across the Capitol, like all the way around the fucking building, all around the federal building, everywhere, every fucking where. You know how much money that costs taxpayers for them to do that? And that's all because of the Capitol.
None, because it's all fucking imaginary.
Well, I mean, no.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what that shit costs.
Yeah. Now you can see how it's being used.
To mobilize and station people like that, to give them the kind of, like even if you're just a reservist, or even if you're just there as a super low level fucking grunt, like the pay that you get for that gets scaled up. They went and fucking made an entirely brand new little ribbon, decorative ribbon. Did you guys see that? That they can add to above their lapel for being at the fucking encampment in DC, the armed fucking encampment, and it's like this like protecting liberty fucking ribbon. It's what it signifies.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
Hey, so can you guys take us through from the moment you entered DC and everything that happened?
Yeah.
Well, it all started when I got on a plane, and immediately as I began to enter the border, the fateful border between Maryland and Virginia, I felt the essence of democracy, and it just floored me. And then, skip the formalities.
Did you get swabbed? Are they swabbing people now?
Not yet. But hey, if they want to, then.
And what happened? And what happened then?
Okay, yeah. So basically, fast forward. Wednesday, we get to the complex with Fox and MSNBC and C-SPAN, and we begin holding our event out there. We do some speeches for freeing Assange. We do some chants. We do some major shit talk to the people who were watching us from the roof, thinking that we wouldn't notice. And essentially because our friends at the Convo Couch, they had their protest footage essentially stolen by ABC and Fox, and now they're being asked by CNN for their footage. So we were essentially yelling at them, hey, where's their check? And there was that. And then we marched over to the CNN building in Washington, D.C., where the Clovers for Assange event merged with a Fox censorship event organized by our good friend and fam over at the Convo Couch that I just mentioned, and did a bunch more speeches there filled with activists and journalists and indie media people from all over. We had like our own viewers, like one of them came up and sang like an kind of an anti-war themed song, which was amazing. And then we marched over to the building where Google is, and then that was where our Wednesday event officially ended.
I saw you guys standing there in front of Google with the Assange banner on the background, and all of you were like shouting like, "Do your job, Google."
Yeah.
I saw that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing, I mean, it was fantastic because we did get to yell at the people who had robbed the Convo Couch, who had robbed Ford Fisher, who had robbed so many other people of their footage, while at the same time, like Google specifically, because they own YouTube, is sitting there demonetizing and deplatforming, and making it just as difficult as they can for people who are doing like genuine on the ground work to continue to do so. Fucking ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, we got to scream, to CNN about like robbing them. And then they got an email from CNN saying, "Hey, we'd like to use your footage and can we pay you for it?"
Yep.
And they're not, running around going, "Thank you, CNN. Thank you for doing the right thing and emailing us, asking us to use our footage." Like knowing that CNN robbed Ford Fisher. They're not doing that because they're, not 100% self-serving fucking cowards.
Yeah.
CNN, NBC, ABC, fucking NBC, all of them, they all usually, if you upload a video to Twitter or something like that, sometimes they'll reach out and ask, but most of the time they just take the footage and run with it because it's public domain, technically.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the Thursday event, Steve, or do you want me?
Yeah, no, so let's back up real quick though, because
All right. Cool.
on Tuesday
Yeah.
we left DC for a little bit to go up to Baltimore to spend some time with Reverend Annie Chambers and
Yeah, we
our
did.
good friend Ian Schlackman.
Yes, we did.
And Glories was like jumping up and down over it the entire time.
I was.
You would think that like that moment just like fell off the Christmas tree. We had a wholesome as fuck live stream like a couple hours ago. It was
Oh, it was so
ridiculously wholesome.
wholesome. I can't wait for the
But anyway,
screenshots of that to come out.
so Thursday, today, Jesus Christ, like yesterday, really. But shit weather. We were a
It
little
was
bit late,
raining.
to our own party. But for a solid 2 hours or more, we fucking railed at the Department of Justice, and there were a couple of really wonderful speeches. One of them by one of the co-hosts on the panel here tonight, a young woman named Glory Jones, who just lit the fucking place up. Amber,
Amber.
Alaska, yeah. From Roar Media. She was awesome. Fiorella from the Convo Couch gives a hell of a speech at a protest. Yeah. God damn it. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's still running. But yeah, there were a couple of different people closed out the event with some music. Convo Couch got really good live streams of it. Ford Fisher got really good live streams of it. Ford is always making a point to show up to our events, because like there's stuff that Ford covers because it's what News to Share does, and then there's stuff that Ford covers because Ford actually like believes in what the thing is. And there's at least a third, if not half, of the people at these events are, part of independent media in some way. And that's at least like a little bit encouraging, because, sometimes you feel like it's just a handful of us that are saying anything about this. And granted, dude, in the past, there's certainly been some of it, a part of it that was performative. And there were people that, honestly wanted to be here this time that couldn't make it because they had just way too much other life shit going on. But the point is that we saw like what happened with with Clovers for Assange in the digital space happen in real time, and that was, it really did bring together Assange supporters from all over the world who now know each other in real life and shit. Like there were people from Seattle, Washington, and Vegas, and Minnesota, and New York City, and fucking all over.
See, and that was the point behind also the Clovers for Assange thing, right? Because it's so easy to add a Clover and just say like, I just donate my luck to Julian because I know he needs it far more right now, because he has technically he has the law on his side. I mean, he did the right thing. So all he needs right now is a lot of luck to get through this, and a lot of support from us, of course. And so it's very easy to do that, and people ask like, why do you have a Clover in? And you can just explain it. Same as changing your avatar, your profile picture. Little Clover is very very important to just add, and then you see the international support, because the Clovers are everywhere now on Twitter, and might not notice it like when you just, because you're getting used to it, you just go to Twitter and you see all these people with Clovers and you don't even notice it anymore because there's so many. But that's the thing, there are so many. And it's a good thing. I mean, and like you guys say, and these events are like the perfect moment to at least bring some people together in real life. And there is this one saying, this is actually historical. This is actually historically really happened, and that is during the Roman times when they still had slaves, right? The Roman elite once had this idea to differentiate the slaves from the normal people by having them wear a wristband, right? But they were smart enough not to do it, because one of these Roman elites said, like, yeah, but if we do it, they will realize with how many they are, these slaves, and they will surely rise up. So that was the reason not to do it, and that is like a metaphor for what is going on right now. There are so many people fighting for human rights and for press freedom. We just don't know with how many we are, and with this, it becomes visible that we are actually with really a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, it was awesome to see what the international action did too, and that's something that we kept in mind throughout the 17th event.
Well, I can
It's
tell you.
just like,
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
yeah, no, go. I want to hear how the Amsterdam one went, like more into it.
Yeah, okay. Well, the Amsterdam event, it was a good group showed up, but the police started messing around, saying like this is the protest is illegal. They just showed up,
Beautiful.
and they said like, yeah, it wasn't announced properly. So it was announced, but it was not announced properly. That's what they said. They weren't hostile though, and they did let it go on. So they clearly they got like orders from above. They didn't really agree to these police officers. They were willing to listen, and like people said like, yeah, this is for Julian Assange. He is a journalist. He is wrongfully in jail and everything. Okay, maybe you can look at the petition, and they were actually friendly and smiling a bit and saying like, yeah, okay, we will look at it. We can't promise to sign anything, but and just to put this into perspective, at the same day there was a women's rights event going on, pretty big, was not stopped. There was an anti-lockdown event going on, was not stopped. The Assange event, they tried to stop. So
Well, of course. I mean, 'cause
yeah, but even the anti-lockdown event they didn't try to stop, right?
oh well, yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to try to stop those guys. Those guys will like fucking. I mean, like, what happened the last time that they tried to intervene against protests like that in your country? I mean, you remember, like, the whole store got trashed.
Mm-hmm. Not just one store,
Yeah,
the Apple
that-
store got like raided and stuff. They took like all the apples and
Well,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
they ran away.
realized, yeah. So they realize, like, we're not going to mess with those guys because it's just going to cause trouble. So it's like, okay, well, we'll let them protest. That's fine. But, then other people protesting, they'll go after.
Yeah, okay. So the Assange event lasted about what 1.5 hours or something. But still, good content was made, some pictures and stuff, and so yeah, that's good for social media to at least show that yeah, in Amsterdam there were people also standing up for press freedom, and yeah, the ladies were.
And Wednesdays was damn near 5 hours.
Okay.
Start to finish. And I mean we've been live streaming pretty much every night, and there's been quite a bit of content created around it. I mean, look, hopefully it gets people used to being out in the streets for Julian and for press freedom headed into the April 11th, 2-year anniversary of him being trafficked out of the embassy, because we need to make that one super noisy.
Yeah, that one's gonna be big.
And like,
Part
look,
of this
I know
was getting
it's-
attention for that.
I know that's legit 3 weeks from today, but that's the amount of time that we have to organize it. And if you want to call it a Clovers for Assange event too, we can.
Yeah, of course, of course. This is
You know,
a community property, right? The Assange community, whatever.
well, no, I mean, I'm putting it to you because I assume that you're interested in helping to organize internationally for the 11th.
Of course, of course. I do whatever I can for it. Um,
So, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, how do we want it to be a Clovers thing, or do we want it to specifically, like, be a, like, Clovers blah 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 Belmarsh, or
yeah, well, I'm also thinking like people need to realize that we are all Assange right now, right? We have
yeah, I mean, I have all of my production and planning meetings on in the middle of a live stream. You guys should know this about me by now.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, so perhaps it's both, like it's a Clover's thing, but I mean, people also need to realize we're all Assange. Like we're all in this situation together
Okay,
now.
so let's do that. Let's the 11th is we are all Assange.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, because
Yeah, we are all Assange. That's a good one.
Okay.
because we are, and that is what people. Yeah, he's locked up, and this is like a. It's so many years now, and the whole embassy thing. Like he was technically also locked up in this embassy all this time. He couldn't leave, and being locked in a room like that, and everyone was just watching. We couldn't really do anything, and we can now. I mean, all bets are up now. All bets are over, right? We have to now, and like he said too, we have to resist. There's no other option.
No, I agree. I do. And I mean, you guys know where I am on this. As far as I'm concerned, we don't have a significant amount of time to where we have something like free assembly anymore. And it's now. We have to do it. We have to do it now. And we have to do it without trying to put a political spin to it. We've got to understand that, like, there's not going to be a piece of legislation signed that says, you know, drop charges, stop persecuting journalists. Oh, hey, we suddenly believe in free speech, or, you know, unfiltered narratives or like unfiltered information without narratives.
Oh.
No, that's not going to happen. That's not how authoritarianism works. It doesn't suddenly just pump the brakes when it gets away with it for fucking ever and always. At least in the West.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not just the West. I mean, we're witnessing press freedom decrease at an alarming rate all over the world now. Ever since the U.S. kind of okayed to go after Julian, you know, all over the world, from Australia to other countries like the Philippines and Thailand and China, especially. I mean, China, you know, that's a whole different story. They've always been very aggressive on anti-press freedom, but you know, we're just witnessing this problem get worse and worse all over the world, and the U.S. kind of opened up the can of worms, so to speak.
Yeah. So I had Juan Paisarelli on your on the protest day, and so we had this little talk about that, and we comparing it to like China and Russia and everything. He said like, yeah, there it is very visible, and the governments don't make a secret of it. They're just stopping these human rights there, and like saying like, yeah, you're not allowed to protest, free press bullshit. We don't care about it. But in here, in the so-called democratic countries, they're doing the same stuff, but they're saying, all you guys voted for this. You voted for us, and we're doing this. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they're claiming. Like they're saying this democratic choice is to stop free press and stop free speech.
And there we were talking about this earlier with Garland. Like, there are things that you can look at that China has done that have lifted a large portion of their country out of poverty, and have put people like in like actual housing for the first time. But at the end of the day, they're a massive centralized authoritarian structure that will fucking shoot you. And like, there's a lot of people that don't understand that about China. Like, yes, they're authoritarian. Yes, they are. Yes, they also have a centrally planned economy in a lot of numbers, a lot of respects that fucking have, you know, lifted a ton of people up.
Yeah. So I see
They
Alex.
also have a social credit score.
So I see. Yeah. No. Exactly. Exactly.
And not only social credit score, but also the now since 2019 in December, if you want to use the internet in China, you have to do a KYC, send them your ID, send them where you live, all of that information in order to get online. So your internet connection or your IP is connected to your actual real world identity in a way known as digital ID. And they've been trying to pass that in Europe for years. And the U.S. also under Obama, they tried to implement that as well. So we're heading into a world where it's basically a technocracy, and it's not going to be pretty because it's all of our data is going to be in the cloud. Nothing's going to be private. Yeah, it's just going to be an ugly dystopia, and Assange, and Snowden too, all tried to stop this from getting worse than it was at the time, which was just the NSA having full control of viewing data. Now we want to put into these facial recognition cameras and AI and all of this stuff that's going to make it way worse.
Oh, it's going to be way worse the coming times because it's now going public. I mean, there's a difference between the NSA, which is a national security agency, and like what happens here in public. Right now, Juan, he explained this also, like in the UK, they're now making protesting illegal. They're saying
Right.
annoying protests are now illegal. Annoying protests.
Which, what the fuck does
Yeah.
that mean? What does annoying protest mean?
Exactly, and that's what I said. It's not a legal
Means
term.
protest, essentially.
Yeah, it's not a legal term. You can make of it what you want, and that gives them a full carte blanche.
Troll. Yeah. Well, because it's such a narrow term, or no, I'm sorry, it's such a broad term. Annoying protest, right? That's such a broad term that they can put that under whatever the fuck they want. Like annoying protest. Okay, well you're protesting against police brutality. Well, that's annoying. Like
Well, there will not be a
that's how-
bullhorn. You won't be able to take a bullhorn, and like the big signs and big banners can be seen as annoying too.
Oh yeah, bullhorn. Nope, no bullhorns for you. Yeah, that's annoying. It's a severe decrease on our rights, and what people don't realize is by decreasing our rights, a tyrant can rise to power very, very fast. And it doesn't have to be now. It could be 5 years, 10 years down the line. But the thing is, if we're unable to speak out, if we're unable to warn about that tyrant when that tyrant comes, right? Because there's laws that are preventing us from doing that, or there's laws against journalists that you report on something, you risk going to prison for espionage. Like with the whole case against Julian. I mean, that's exactly what they're setting this up for. With Julian Assange, I mean, they're trying to charge him under the Espionage Act, and that's never been done before. It'll set an absolute precedent, and when it does happen, and they set that precedent, there's no going back. And if they do set that precedent, the issue is that it will scare other journalists from reporting on things, right? And right now, investigative journalism is basically dead. There's barely any journalists that are doing any real investigative work, where they're exposing the government or various nefarious military-industrial complex deals, or have whatever you wish. But the bigger problem is that in the future, if a tyrant rises to power and we aren't able to speak out against it, we are going to end up in a situation probably similar to that of Mussolini or possibly even Hitler. So I mean, that's what people need to realize, is that if you allow tyrants to rise to power, you can have a dictator. And if you can't speak out against that government, if you can't expose that government internally through leaks and stuff like that, they make leaking illegal. They make journalism basically illegal. We're going to have a problem. We're going to have a severe problem with not only just Orwellian technology rising. We're going to have a problem where a possible dictator could rise in the future.
Yeah. So I'm going to quote someone I'd never quoted before, David Icke, because he said one thing ever that really hit jackpot for me, and that is that at least in these countries, like in Italy under fascism, but also in China, you're living in this prison, but it's very obvious you're living in this prison, right? But we are living in this situation where we're in a prison, but we can't see the prison bars. And that's how it slips into our society. We can't see the bars. They're going with these little small steps, going more and more, imprisoning us more and more. And we're already in this little box, and then it's already far too late for us. Because they've taken so many small steps against us that we will have to take 1,000 steps back to stop them.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that once this technology is out there and is out of Pandora's box, there's no putting it back in. That's it. And, we've warned for years, Anonymous has, in many different ways. There's some hackers who warned about how MIDI numbers on phones could be used to track you. I don't want to get into all that on air, but just saying that we've all warned you how the surveillance state was evolving over time. Then we had the NSA leak, and we were proven right? But in the same sentence, it was way more advanced than even we thought. I mean, some of us, but I mean, people like me, obviously we realize that the technology that the government and intelligence agencies and military have are way more advanced than what we can even imagine.
Mm.
It's like 50 years ahead is what everybody says.
Margaret via in my chat says the police got them in Downey, California, and claimed they violated the noise ordinance at 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Noise ordinance, huh?
Of course they did.
Whatever
Noise
excuse.
ordinance
Ridiculous.
after 10 p.m.
You just randomly select them. What kind of excuse can we use? Will you just use it? It makes sense. We don't have a really an excuse against
Put all your excuses in a fucking hat. Pull one out.
We got told this morning that we couldn't bring an Easy Up pop-up tent thing to the Department of Justice. That wasn't allowed anymore. And so, like,
You might have explosives under it, you know. But that's literally what it is.
in September, for like weeks, the Easy Up was up. Yeah, we had a bright yellow Easy Up in front of the Department of Justice for like 2 solid weeks. And we had it back in January too, because we brought cake for the no extradition verdict. Like serving cake and fucking snacks and shit at a party.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we're gonna say it's because the DOJ was so intimidated by our yellow tint that they made a whole brand new rule just for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you guys had a good group. And what else did actually happen? I saw it was like a pretty big march, and I saw these Anons also in between. Or it was nice to see that. It was very successful. We were just marching.
Yeah,
there.
we had a couple people who brought their masks.
Yeah. It's very different from when I was in London. There was one person dancing around on the last day, and I'm pretty sure it was someone from Christina and Sands group. Calling Assange the new Jesus. Yeah.
You know what? I haven't seen my custom mask in a couple days now.
Well, the FIFA Guy Fawkes mask is symbolic, right? Everyone, we're all in this together. We have the same face. We have the same future. And
I know, but like Magnus went out of his way to like custom paint. Just to have, like, not to like wear to events, but just to have, right? So mine had my face on it. The old cartoon for Slow News Day. That's what was on it. That was like, bro, thank you. But
a mask that's supposed to make you anonymous.
Bro, that's my face.
They'll never know who I am.
Server monitor, I can't mute
it. Nobody's that dumb. That is not Steve. It can't be.
Hey, server monitor in the chat, I can't mute it. I'm sorry. It's just if I mute it, then everything is muted. So you have to live with it. Sorry.
Live with what?
Yeah, he says. Well, server monitor says whoever is typing, please mute it. Lol. Yeah, I can't. I wish I could.
Typing. He was typing.
No, because I have myself. I have a button to speak, right? So when I'm not.
No, same. Yeah.
When I'm not speaking, I'm still typing.
Oh, okay. So it's you typing. Well, stop typing.
I'm already trying, so I might, but I can't. Yeah.
Come on, AK. You know Mark can't stop.
Stop the cardinal sin, Mark. Stop. Get help. Seek help.
Hey, so did we look at other events around the world? Really? I mean,
you know what, man? I saw, like, I tried to retweet when I could, but I haven't been paying much attention to social media. To be perfectly honest, I got like smeared right before the events, and I haven't wanted to engage. Really, I would like to thank the lots and lots of people who went to bat on my behalf over that. Man, you guys are awesome, and it was totally unnecessary, and I really fucking appreciate it, and thank you.
Yeah, we tweeted it out from AVP too.
We're gonna talk a little bit about that on Sunday afternoon on the Slow News Day, like Sunday afternoon Rockfin show. but I do want to acknowledge that there were a lot of people who went to bat for me, and I'm very, very grateful for that, and it's humbling, and I fucking feel hella weird about it, but thank you.
No, you shouldn't, because they should stand up for you, because you're a grassroots organizer, and you're not doing this for a profit or whatever. You're working really hard on all of this, and you have been for so many years. And for people to smear you one day before these events, that shows real true colors to these whoever is doing that. And you guys talk about that Sunday on details, Dan, but I mean, to me, it's disgusting that they would even do that. So, especially one day before events.
Well, I mean, let's go back and just say that if you're being called a Fed and you're organizing all this shit and you're working your ass off, you're doing something right.
Yeah, you're scaring them. Definitely, you're scaring the establishment, and there is a number of I want to call them gatekeepers, right? They pretend to be on our side, but they're not really on our side. They're trying to pull in. We call this reactionary forces. This is old politics, trying to cater to a new grassroots movement and trying to pull in new people from the grassroots movement into their old politics system, the partisan system, and they're always being a little bit savage, a little bit dissident, but they're never going the full way. They're always staying within this little box that is acceptable. And they're gatekeepers. That's just how it goes.
I think more so there's a lot more grifters out there that are just using Assange for their own gain. Don't really give a fuck. They...
Not just Assange, though. All the subjects. And they're...
well, yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, in general with Assange, I mean, any type of activism, it draws... what's the word I'm looking for? Leeches? On it. Mosquitoes, basically fucking bloodsuckers.
I don't think this is a standalone thing.
Warriors?
No, I think leeches is the right one.
Leeches is a good word. Leeches is a good word, but you get my point, and it's just like they want to. They have the mindset of what can I get out of this instead of how can I help this person or how can I help this cause.
Yeah, well, if you were legit about it, you would at least wait a week and you would have these protests go on because you respect the Assange case so much, and so you're going to shut up about it. You talk about this later, and for now you make sure everyone focuses on these Assange protests. That is if you had real respect for a journalist who is in prison. Seriously, that is just all you can say about it. No matter what you think of a person, you can wait a week. Why do you have to do it, especially like one day before these events, to smear organizers? It's disgusting. Because this disgusting.
Well, except for with me, you really can't wait a week because as soon as I'm done with an event, I'm planning the next one. So
I know, but you're way ahead of them, of course.
April 10th and 11th, Los Angeles, California.
That's right. That's right. We're going to try and do like an in-person sort of panel event on April 10th and invite all of the LA independent media to come out for it. And we're not going to live stream it. We'll film it. But we're not going to live stream it until after the event. The following day, because we don't want anybody that ghosts the event to try and like pretend like they were there or that they had supported it or that they knew what they were talking about when they opened their mouth about it, unless they were there. But they're all getting invited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, well, true colors, and you could see all the people backing you up, Steve, and it showed a lot of consistency, and the fact that you're really focused on these events to not get into it on that moment and say like, yeah, I'm not taking the bait, whatever, I'm focusing on this event. that shows the real thing, right? So yeah, just talk about it Sunday, whatever, and
Yeah, and here's the thing, man. When I do address it, it's going to be that once, and then that's it.
yeah. And to be
You
fair, I
know.
mean, it was depending on you too. I mean, if you would say like, yeah, we have to address it now. I mean, we would have all these anons get into it too, seriously, because they're all aware of what goes on and they can see that that it is not that it is wrong to do that. So
No, dude. I look. I mean, really. Ultimately, it's not. It's not that. It's not that important because this isn't about the work. This isn't about not saying nice things about a fucking wannabe political party. We all know that, you know. Well, a lot of people don't know that. So that'll, you know. But it's just it speaks to the amount of petty and the amount of just personal agenda driven behavior that exists in all forms of media, but because independent media, um, in the last several years has become so lazy and so much a carbon copy of the mainstream, it's permeated and more so, not more so, because I have friends that have fucked around in right wing media, but
yeah,
in like left spaces, um, it's just driven by, I don't know, dude, these just insecure little fucking sissy beta fucks with little dick energy.
yeah, but it's also an ideological difference. Like, okay, so I know there is like plenty of listeners, plenty of anons who don't trust anything of the political system anymore and think this is all a rigged system. We're being ruled by this dangerous, how you call it, predator class that literally puts these candidates in front of us. But there are still people who still believe like, okay, we have to start a new political party and we have to move around in this system to try to make a change inside the little boundaries they made for us. We have to move there. These people are there still, but there's also a growing number of people who say like, at this point the political system is kind of rigged. We need an actual grassroots movement outside of politics to change things, to put pressure, like people's lobby group, an aggressive people's lobby group that literally says like, the people want this. We have this. We don't trust you represent us anymore, and we're advocating for this change. Like, it's an ideological difference, but yeah. And then you have the problem of people who make a lot of money with things, and yeah, and when money comes in, that is always where it gets dirty.
Well, and look, dude, there are people that I personally know that are in media that, yeah, dude, they want to make sure that they're secure and that the people in their immediate sphere are secure. But they will still take risks. You know, they will still cover important things and talk about important things because this is audience supported. Like, they believe and have faith and trust their audience
Hmm.
because they know that their audience largely isn't getting accurate information too many other places, and that the outlet that they're supporting is going to tell them where that information is and not act like they're the sole arbiters of that information and sit there and gaslight the fuck out of their audience. They're way fewer because most of the people that are involved in this, especially the ones that are like pretending to be pundits or basically just fucking Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
You know, they want to gaslight their audience. They want to keep them trapped. They want them to think that like they're, the only people that are going to talk to them the way that they want to
I'm
hear
the
it.
only guy. I'm the guy that do this. I'm the guy.
Oh, yeah, and in the chat, people are asking like you are talking about specific persons. Yeah, we are not mentioning the names on purpose because these people who are on other social media always crying about being censored. The first thing they will do is censor our episode if we mention their names. So they will report it to YouTube and whatever. So we're not mentioning direct names right now, just so you guys are aware of that. But I'm sure you can find stuff about that. The people who cry loudest about censorship, they will always. I don't know what I'd say always. These are the kind of people who also censor others. So, yeah.
But I mean, look, dude, it's not like it's just one person, you guys. It's not like it's ever just going to be one person. And we were talking about this the other day that like the smears go in ebbs and flows, and sometimes it's like a giant platform like the Daily Beast will come after us. The Daily Beast called me like the sum total of the conspiratorial left, which Tim Pool uncritically repeated. Like that.
Are you going to talk about
When Tim Pool takes time out of his day to call you like the leftist QAnon, you're getting smeared by a platform that's gonna get a lot of new followers headed over to your show.
Okay, well, I can throw in a few cents about Tim Pool. That's safe to do, because he mentioned on his own podcast that he self-censored when he was given a lot of money to shut up for a few years. So I just want to say,
fuck Tim Pool.
if you get a lot of money to
Little
shut up,
fucking.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I know. If I can safely say it, I'm not smearing him because he said it on his own podcast. He said like he was given a golden handshake. He was given a lot of money to write for a magazine and to never write anything. So he was out of everything for a few years. Was paid a lot for it to not say anything, and then, well, after kind of like when he was done with it, he needed new money again. He started again with podcasting. So Tim Pool. No, I mean like that is that is for me is disgusting, right? He is the old Occupy cameraman.
That's
Yeah.
funny. Rachel Sotos, thank you.
Thanks,
Go
Rachel.
ahead.
I was just gonna comment on Tim and just say he's got worse problems than self-censorship. I mean, I don't know if you saw that whole thing about him holding a cat hostage, but that's fucked up.
Fuck that. Look, it's very easy. I don't believe from the start that they're compromised, but at some point these people, when they get a lot of influence, many of them get compromised. They get paid a lot, and either to shut up or to repeat desired narratives, establishment narratives, and you need a lot of power to stand up against that. You need to say, because the alternative is you're being smeared and stuff, and they're going to smear you, and they're not going to pay you anything, and so many of them choose the money over being smeared. Yeah, well, some like to be smeared. So come at us, Tim Pool.
Yeah, but I mean, like the thing is about Tim Pool. I mean, like I said, he literally held a cat hostage to one of the people who was running his news website with him. He held her cat hostage, and that's fucked up. And don't fuck with cats, otherwise you get clawed.
I don't know, like, I just think, yeah. No, I just see how hard you guys work on it, and it pisses me off sometimes when I see it.
Just saying, Meowsec is gonna come for you.
That's fucking funny.
Oh my god.
Meowsec is a real security group.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm. Yeah. No, that's fucking hilarious. Um, but no, to finish that thought though, man, like when it's not a massive, account or a massive platform or something like that, or a mainstream outlet, most of the time it's just like bottom feeders or fucking like actual bot accounts or fucking Fed accounts or whatever, and then sometimes you'll just get people that like flat the fuck out don't like you.
Okay, but that's
And they store that shit like it's fucking going to sustain them over the winter. And it manifests in really, really, really weird ways. And look, dude, I try to be understanding about this shit. I really do. I do. Everybody's got trauma. Everybody breaks different. Nobody fucking heals the same way. Some people go out of their way to fucking not heal. And, like, then you gotta recognize that, like, you're intentionally channeling your anger incorrectly, homie, and you're aware of that. And, like, dude, yeah. Yeah.
Rent free in your head.
Shit gets out of hand. Shit gets out of hand, and fucking then you gotta like come clean with some shit and be like, yo, this is why you're mad. Stop being mad.
okay. So you're allowed to not like a person, but if you not like a person, yeah, at least shut up before a big event. You can still care about the actual event, and because it's important. Keep your personal opinions. Wait a week with it, or wait a few days with it. Like, yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, and look, here's the other thing, dude. I've never claimed to be some sort of like pillar of credibility or morality or anything like that, or ever said that anyone should emulate me or fucking listen to me or anything like that. Like, if I'm telling you to pay attention to what I'm saying, it's usually because I'm echoing something that people smarter than me have said in terms of shit that is vitally important, like what is happening to press freedom and what is happening with the national security state and like the technocratic panopticon that is barreling towards us and why we need to come together to stand against us. These are not, I don't think, brand new thoughts. These are thoughts I believe that clear-headed, rational individuals have been saying for quite a fucking while. I have I think unique way of delivering that message, and maybe that pisses people off too. I'm not trying to get like, a varsity letter jacket in a team sport here, though. I'm not.
Yeah, well, as they say in the chat too, Rob, says, I listen to you because you make sense to me, Steve. And see, and that's also the thing. No one asks anyone to be perfect because you're not controlled opposition. You're not putting out establishment narratives. You're allowed to make mistakes. We do our own observations, and sometimes these observations are wrong. But that's because we don't have any, we don't make money with it. We're not part of a government or whatever. We make our own observations, and we can be wrong about it. We're just normal people. That's the thing. And this is for you too, Steve. No one asks you to be like right all the time. You're allowed to make mistakes because you're a normal person. So yeah.
No. No mistakes. Never mistakes. Always make sure to be 100% accurate.
But you can't be. You can have theories
You
about.
can't ever disagree with someone either. That's bad too.
Yeah, or we're allowed to have theories about things and think like, okay, this could be happening, and then you give multiple theories, and like one theory will inevitably be
Well,
wrong.
yeah, you're allowed to have theories. I mean, if you're stating something as a theory, that's different than saying this is a fact.
Yeah, I was saying like.
Right, and then uncritically repeating what fucking Dr. Fauci said.
I won't get into that.
Because you hear a lot of that. You hear a lot of people who uncritically repeat the narrative that January 6th was a violent insurrection.
Yeah, see, that's also the thing.
the footage that CNN stole from the Convo couch and that NBC and Fox and ABC and everybody else stole from the Convo couch, that footage they're using to try to pin the murder of that cop on these two guys, because they're like, look, we found footage that says they're talking about this bear mace thing, and they're trying to say that now, instead of being beaten to death with a fire extinguisher, he died from complications as a result of getting maced and shit like that, just so they can make it so that one of the bodies belongs to the insurrectionists, because they always frame it as the violent, deadly insurrection, but then never mention that everybody that died either died of a pre-existing condition or was shot by a cop.
Mm. Yeah. So, like, okay, so because we're also this is an anonymous show, and what I discuss also with, there's a lot of new anons every year coming in and stuff. There's new bloods, and they're saying like, yeah, this anonymous account is putting out weird information. I don't agree with this. Is this person a fat or something, or controlled opposition? I always say like, you don't have to agree on everything with people. Like, you can disagree on like one operation, but you can still agree on like 9,000 other operations. So you just participate in operations you agree with. And when I see like some person smearing another activist because he disagrees on like one subject or whatever, and then suddenly starts attacking other protests like this Assange protest, because this person is organizing it, suddenly starts attacking this organizer, then there is something wrong. Then you are not actually fighting for Assange. You're fighting for whatever yourself, your own, whatever, your own credibility or something. Your own, you want to be right about everything.
Yeah, your own motives. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are supposed to. You can still agree on these 9,000 other things, and you have to support these things. Like the Assange situation is completely separate from whatever violent insurrection thing in Washington. I mean, yeah. This is what I don't get. There I see there's a real problem. There's a red flag, to be honest.
Well, I look, what it is that there are, pretty definite, definely drawn parameters of allowable conversation, and there are people who just will not cross those lines. So they can't. Again, it's something that we were talking with Garland about earlier. Like, every time that you try to put one toe into reality while leaving one toe in that allowable parameters of fucking ridiculous, narrative driven conversation, it backfires and you end up looking like a fucking idiot, because you find yourself in these really emotionally charged, nonsensical, hyperbolic positions that are ultimately indefensible, and what happens is that you just default into fucking rage. And that's when people show their whole fucking ass. And we've been seeing so much of that over the last 5 or 6 months. I mean, that's fantastic. That is. People are really letting you know who they are lately. It's helpful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that part's true. Alright, y'all, real quick, I gotta hop off here. Our flight tomorrow is pretty early, so...
Yeah, no. Good night, Jones.
Thanks.
Alright,
Thanks,
peace, y'all.
Doc.
Travel safe.
Of course. Shit, you too, Steve.
Yeah.
Alright, much love, y'all.
Hey, get in here, Josh.
Yeah, Josh, you can just jump on. Man.
Jump
Sleepy
on
J.
for a minute while we sign off.
Okay, well, I think we said enough about that stuff, right? And Sunday you will like talk a bit more about that, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I missed all that. I was actually I was plugging in. I was plugging the earbuds back in there for a minute. I had to walk away.
No, I didn't say
So
anything new,
go
but
on.
I was just saying like I think we discussed about that whole smearing thing enough now. I think you will like cover this like Sunday more, a bit more, right?
Yeah, yeah. And again, man, I know it's not going to be the last time I have to address like a ridiculous. Hey, man. I know it's not going to have to. I know it's not going to be the last time I have to address something like totally fucking ridiculous like this. But there's been a number of weird things that have gone on leading up to this event, and a number of attacks from like the maybe seemingly different corners, but not really. And so there's some things that again have absolutely nothing to do with the work and have absolutely nothing to do with the I don't know, the fucking like the heart and intent behind it, and have everything to do with just this imaginary shit, and so we need to talk about it, just once, hopefully just once.
Yeah.
um yeah.
Yeah, well, and if you need my or our help, I mean, we're always here, of course. I mean, um,
Well,
hopefully.
yeah, and again, thank you for thank you for saying some shit, and go ahead.
He's just
No,
laughing.
I just fucking trolled. That's all.
Yeah, I know, but it is true, and like that it has to be the cost needs to be number one, and there is a big problem in it that you can disagree on like 1,000 things, but you you claim to fight for something, then focus on that. That has to be the main focus, and I mean, the timing is very suspicious to me, Steve, and not just to me, I think so. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, no, we'll get into it a little bit more, but I do the one of those people in particular. Like, look, here's the thing. I I guess I live like rent free in a handful of people's heads and have for well over a year now. Um, so the timing of it, I think, has more to do with just like a an irrational emotional triggered response to like seeing my name or hearing my name, more so than it does anything that I'm actually doing. And that's secondary to the emotional trigger and having to have a freak out. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just I mean it's a theory. You're allowed to disagree with that. 100%.
Yeah, no, and okay, so and I might be like a little biased too. I know a little bit too much too about it, but um, yeah, what bothers me is just the timing mainly, and for the rest, probably yeah, discuss it
Oh,
someday. Yeah,
yeah, no, I mean it's super shitty timing. It always is. But I mean this kind of shit, it always happens every time that we go to do an event. And sometimes I know that it's driven by the intelligence community writ large, and sometimes I know it's because people just really don't fucking like me, and they don't want whatever it is I'm involved in to succeed based solely on the fact that I'm involved in it. You either love me or you hate me. There's no in between. There's no gray area. You know how you feel about me pretty much fucking immediately, and very, very rarely does it change. And more
Well,
often than not, the only reason it changes is because somebody goes from hating me to loving me.
Well, let me just say real quick, and I know Mark probably said the same thing. If you care more about destroying somebody else's organizing of events than you do about the actual subject of the event, then you don't actually support the protest. You know, like for the person, like you know what I mean. Like the event's for Assange. Who cares who organized it? It just matters that it goes on to give some attention to the situation that Assange is in. I mean, like that's just selfishness. That's just ego. That's just full on somebody using their own motivations instead of caring about the actual subject of the event.
Yeah. Okay, and just to add to that, Clovers for Assange thing is a collective thing, and has many Anons involved with it, and these protests have many Anons digitally promoting it too, and for some person, whoever it is, just attacking these events and also attacking anonymous street operations is normally not going to end well. I can tell you that, but
it's not. It's just look.
Your
This
finger
is
to a beehive nest. That's all I got.
you
to
don't
say.
stick your
Or
finger
what?
in a fucking beehive. I mean, it was said
No,
before, right?
no. Too weak. Fingers too weak. No.
no. I mean, look. This is why I think that the last couple of the last few people that have gone like at us at the events and at me in particular, it's been more of an emotional reaction that like had no forethought whatsoever. Because honestly, anyone who took a couple of seconds to think about like, do I really want to say this and go after this person in this way about this specific thing? Knowing what I know about this dude and who he knows and the shows that he's on, do I really want to do that? Is that a good idea? You know, most people would then go, fuck. No, I'm just gonna low key talk shit.
Yeah.
You know, and not just put it on Front Street like that, and then not have to like, I don't know, dude. There's there's gotta be there's been some walking back, there has
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, and it's all like it's all credits to you, Steve, for saying like I'm not going to do this. Like no, I'm going to focus on the event and everything, right? I mean, yeah. So
Well, look, I honestly can't, man. I thought that there's when I'm here for an event, that's all there is. Like I'm not even really. I don't even take pictures or anything like that unless I've been assigned to be on like social media for the day, which I hate fucking doing in the first place because I'd rather be in the moment at the thing, and I don't want to stop and take a break from that to tweet about it. So I don't. And then when we get back, we've either got like t-shirts to make or buttons to make or this to do or that to do, fucking live stream shit like that. I don't have time to deal with that little fucking punk ass or any of the other little fucking punk asses. It's just not. It's not a part of what we're here to do. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude. Why can't you wait? Like, we're trying to do some shit. I'm still gonna be here. You can hate me now. It's fucking officially Friday. The events are over. Now you can hate me. Now you can. It's cool. Like, we can talk about it like after though, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, read the goddamn room. Isn't that what you do professionally? Aren't you supposed to know how to read a fucking room? Read the fucking room. Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck.
yeah, well, in any way, I'm happy the protest went so well. Um,
You know what, man? It was good. We said it a little bit on the live stream earlier. I'm sorry to cut you off. I am pretty jazzed about it because this particular event was like more so mine than the some of the previous ones were like way more group efforts. Like, not that this wasn't, but a little bit more driven, I guess, from my end this time than the last ones. So I felt really good about it, and it's fantastic when, like, the majority of the people that you look out into the crowd, people from all over the place, of all over the fucking country, like, you've been on their show. They've been on your show. They're promoting different events, but they're here for yours, and shit like that. And, like, yeah, like, we're friends, so we're supporting each other, but that's the fucking point. We're friends, so we're supporting each other. That's what like, and not just in terms of, oh, I'll retweet you every now and then,
no.
or I'll help you sell some shit if you drop a book or something like that. But, like, no, dude, this is on the ground, direct action, thousands of miles away, for something you can't, like, I don't know, dude. It really is, dude. It's fucking I don't know, like, special, I guess. I hate fucking saying it like that. It sounds cliche as shit. It really does, but there's a uniqueness to it that you don't necessarily get at every event.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I see that myself with street protests. That when you're there, it's like everyone is like so focused and united on this cause, right? And you see these people, yeah, they have their own podcast, and you should probably give a shout out to the Convo Couch guy. I mean, I saw him being going hardcore with you guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, big shout out to that whole crew. And I hope that Johnny Hollywood starts feeling better. He got a little under the weather while he was out here, but Pasta, Gardula, and Fiorella Isabel, they put on a hell of an event with the Fuck Censorship. They're gonna do another one on the 11th, like, which is, in coordination with this one. Um, and yeah, man, they're serious about it. They're going to Chicago right now. They're gonna go do some stuff on the ground there. Like, it's we've part of what doing the thing with the MCSC network is to, like, have a media team that's focused on, not necessarily just going where some limited hangout Democratic Party sponsored. There's probably going to be people in matching outfits that are fighting other people in matching outfits sort of fucking event, but to, like, incorporate the activism that got us involved in media in the first place into the actual fucking coverage, because that's exactly what we were doing with this too. Like, yes, we report on things, we stay on top of things, we cover news and shit like that, but there are certain things where everybody else has dropped the ball that we're passionate about, so we have to be the news.
Yeah. Yeah, who else is going to do it? That's the problem. I don't know. Did you did you say everything about it that you wanted to say? I mean, I don't know. You were tired even going into this. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll kick it with you guys for a few before I go out, but I gotta fucking crash out here soon. I'm exhausted, delirious.
Okay, so to listeners, I want to mention that David McBride wants to come on Monday. He was supposed to come on earlier, but he's been busy with his defense, and it's been very emotional and stressed out for him. And he said, like, yeah, he's been like all occupied with it. But Monday he will be talking all about it. And yeah, I mean, probably you'll be on with us, right, Steve? I mean.
For a little bit of it, I'm sure, but like we are going to do that Rockfin thing, so depending on how long.
This Monday. Monday.
It's Monday.
Yeah,
not
no,
Sunday.
I know. Yeah, but that's probably his Monday.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, maybe.
gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yes, which would be our Sunday, maybe. As it's usually, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll work something out. Okay, so.
We'll find out. We will. And like I'll be there for some of that, I'm sure. Man, I will.
Okay. Okay. To listeners, I want to ask, please share it around that you guys know that's what we depend on, and we'll be back soon. So Monday, maybe earlier in the weekend, about other stuff. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks, everyone. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One more thing. Friday evening. That is today for me. For many Americans, it is tomorrow. 8 in the evening UK time. We have the We Are All Assange Twitter storm. Goes on every week. This time, it would be nice to also post some protest content from the Clover for Assange protest around the world, just to show that people are on the streets fighting for Assange, and it really will help to wake people up to this. So
Oh yeah, no, that would be awesome. And look, there were 14 events, I think 15 street actions
I think it was 14.
internationally.
which is good for the
Nine.
first try, actually. I think first Clover for Assange global protesting.
Yeah, and it was really, I mean, we had like 5 weeks to throw it together or something, 6 weeks.
Hmm.
And didn't really start hitting the promotion for it hard until like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so that's that. We are all Assange Twitter storm, and we'll add some content from the Clover stuff. Use that hashtag Clovers for Assange, either with the full word or with the 4 in it, because we're using both hashtags now. The 4 in it too, obviously refers to Action for Assange as a 4 in it. So much of the DC content, at least, will be found on that one, Clovers for Assange, and. Well, is to use the content and post it on We Are All Assange hashtags and show the world that even in the streets, activists are fighting for Assange. Right.
Hell yeah, absolutely. We've got Micah Dank on Sunday morning for some astrotheology. That is gonna be a wild show. Well, Ford Fisher is going to be coming on Thursday. Pretty sure there's a Union of the Unwanted on Monday. Yeah, good things coming with Slow News Day. You want to say the line, AK?
He almost forgot. Not you, Mark. Mark did.
Say it.
Right. Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
I need a little bit of begging.
Please say the line, AK. We can't do without it.
Remember to spay and neuter all your politicians and lobbyists. Oh, Jesus.